because there's YouTubers out there, Tony, who claim to have common sense, and I challenge you. If you think you got common sense, then you should know.
I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me for granted and you know I'm leaving. I'ma take what's mine with the webs I'm weaving. I could take this crowd from seeing to believing. Got a taste for blood and my tongue keeps bleeding.
Saw a couple videos from the Popcorn Gang today, Mediocre, saying that the AMC forward contract and selling these 50 million shares is illegal because they don't have the shares. Goldman doesn't have the shares to deliver for any shares that they sell. Now, I'm just going to ask you a question, Mediocre. Do you think that AMC and Goldman would enter into an agreement and file it with the SEC if it was illegal, what they were doing?
No, they would not. They would not.
Do you think that you should be getting advice from someone who thinks that they're on YouTube, who thinks that we're still doing T+2 settlement?
No. No. Nope.
All I'm going to say, guys, if you're listening to people who don't even understand that we're at T+1, what the fuck are you doing? First of all.
Everybody, it's the Common Sense Investor coming at you with another video. And in this video, we're going to talk some more about this Goldman AMC forward agreement, what it means, and how it is illegal because it violates Reg Show rules, okay? And we're also going to talk about, is AMC headed for a vote where Goldman now holds 50 million shares of AMC and can vote them? According to the Clown News Network. We're going to talk about that too. Before we do, let me address this settlement date, T+1, T+2, who's right, who's wrong. Let me explain something, people. See, at 12 o'clock, high noon, every day, without a doubt, high noon, 12 o'clock, I turn this computer off, I turn my brain off, and I turn the TV on, and I sit back and I drink a beer and I watch a movie, and I try my best not to think about this shit. Alright, but most of the time it doesn't work and I just sit back and meditate. But the point is this, my mind was turned off. When I said, well, I wasn't sure, was it T1 or T2? I couldn't remember. Why? Because I wasn't focused on this shit. Alright, but I am now, and I'm here to tell y'all what the deal is the Goldman AMC deal is illegal if they sell them shares into the market and don't meet the T+1 settlement date rule. If they sell them shares into the market, then one day later they become FTDs or phantom shares. We now have a float of 372 or 376 million plus 50 million over the outstanding float out there diluting the stock's price. Okay, that's what's going on. If they do not meet the T+1 settlement date. Now, of what I'm saying, I'm sitting down tonight and I'm filing a complaint with the SEC and FINRA over this deal. And I'm going to tell them that this is naked short selling, that they cannot locate them 50 million shares by settlement, and we cannot have phantom shares on the market suppressing our stock. That's where I'm going next. And I told Donahue, I'm going to sue Adam Aaron and Goldman Sachs over this deal. But the first step is you first must go to the office and complain, and if something don't happen there, then you take it to the courtroom. And that's where I'm heading. I see it coming. I see it coming over this deal right here. This was the screw up we've been waiting on them to make, that they get so confident in their con that they would do it in the wide open, just like this. Just like this. They don't care whether these 50 million shares are sitting out there now in AMC and our price is tanking. You're wondering why? We're 50 million shares over the float that we know of now. So how many underhanded shit have they done? But now, since I've exposed the shit, all right, and I'm fixing to file my complaint with the SEC, Tony says he don't want to release his 15-minute video where he explains how I'm wrong. No, it's just you can't explain how I'm wrong. The son of a bitches have got to meet the T settlement date according to Reg Show rules. Period.
Excellent. I had an excellent 15-minute video ready to go to explain to you guys exactly how the forward contract was going to work. Shares were going to come from to cover, where Goldman, when they sell shares, they're going to buy shares, they're going to deliver shares. I was fully prepared to explain all that, and then I was like, it's not worth it. This was the question I was going to close with, Mediocre. When have you thought about when there is going to be? Let's go on the record here. This is just a gamble. This is just a side bet. When is AMC going to notify shareholders that there is going to be a vote, an upcoming vote? Because this is the thing that no one's talking about. So let's talk about it. I'm going to give you a date. By what date will AMC notify shareholders that there is going to be an upcoming vote?
I don't know the date off the top of my head. I don't. I'd have to go do the research.
I'm just guessing. I'm going to say 55% chance before end of December, 45% chance by end of January.
Now, they want to shift the focus since they don't want to talk about the forward agreement anymore, and let's talk about the vote, all right, that AMC is possibly setting up. Could this be Antara 2.0, where Adam has stacked the deck in a corporate election to get his way with whatever we're going to vote on? We're going to talk about that, okay? They vote. Then they would have to notify us 60 days in advance or 90 days. I'd have to go back and look at the rules. But Tony knows them, and he's right. That they would have to probably notify shareholders that we're going to have a special meeting and a vote on certain topics. The question is, what topics will we be voting on? And does Goldman Sachs have the right to vote them shares? Let's see what Cowboy Clown had to say.
Yeah, I would say definitely going to know something in the next 2 months.
I think they want to get the vote done in Q1. And according to Delaware law, you got to, once you notify shareholders of a special shareholders meeting, you got to do it at least 10 days in advance and no more than 60 days in advance. So that's kind of the numbers that I'm looking at when they're going to notify you. I'm kind of thinking about that 60 days.
Since we're talking about this, Tony, I got a question for you. Because I made a video saying that Goldman was the new Antara. Did you see that?
Yeah.
All right. So my question to you and for the audience here is, do you think that those shares that were given to Goldman to do what they need to do with them in the forward agreement are votable shares? Can they vote?
They are 100% votable shares. Me or the audience?
I was asking you, but the audience, because I want them to think about what I just said.
So, that being said, I think that they're going to do a forward contract sooner rather than later, probably already done. And if they did one for the full amount, which I don't know, that would give Goldman voting rights for 50 million shares.
I don't disagree with you, though.
I'm just hypothetical spitballing here. Like, who the fuck knows? Like, how are you so sure that this is a plan for AMC to make $500 million? How do you know that what I'm saying is not true? I'm just...
I hate to keep interrupting and having to correct this man. So, man, if you don't like it, you need to start doing your DD and start using some common sense. Now, if AMC has entered into a forward agreement with anybody for these 50 million shares. They did it as a hedge, and they were given the right in the proposal for rehypothecation, which means they could sell it right now on the open market. And the process rolls over and over. Ain't no telling now where them shares are at and who's holding them. But the question is this: does Goldman have voting rights? And is this Antara 2.0? Answer: can't be. Can't be. Goldman does not have voting rights on them 50 million shares. Period. Not if they were given to them in a forward agreement and they used them to hedge and they shorted them into the market ahead of time so the price will drop and they can get it at a cheaper price from AMC. You got to remember one thing. The person who gets the voting rights is the person that owns the share. And if they've sold them shares to retail investors, then Goldman does not have the right to vote them shares anymore. It belongs to whoever bought them shares on the open market when they push the price down. So no, Goldman does not have voting rights if they've sold them shares. Now, there ain't no reason for them not to have sold them. That's the purpose of the forward agreement. And so we know now for sure that they cannot vote them shares. If they vote them, then we'll have another cause for a lawsuit where they have rigged a corporate election and they're not letting the people that buy the shares vote. They're making the institutions vote the way they want them to vote. And the shit's going to stop. But now I'm going to end this video with this question. What could we possibly be voting on that Adam Aaron could want to stack the deck? All right, I'm going to do that video because it's going to take a minute. I seen Mike the Marine's video a day or two ago about it, and he did a real good job. I'm going to expound on a lot more of what he had to say, and I'll see you in the next video. Love y'all. Be blessed. See you then.